Most gardeners think worms belong deep underground. That assumption is costing them healthier soil. If your worms are gathering just beneath the mulch or clustering near the surface, they're not behaving strangely, they're responding to conditions that many gardeners completely overlook. Ignore what they're telling you, and you'll eventually see slower plant growth, weaker root systems, and soil that never seems to improve no matter how much compost you add. One of the easiest ways to understand what's happening is by measuring the conditions instead of guessing. I regularly check moisture and soil temperature with the soil moisture meter for plants, 12-zone wireless plant water meter, soil thermometer, and light sensor, 4-in-1 TDR tester because the surface layer changes much faster than the soil below. It has helped me catch problems before they affected my crops. I'll leave the exact one I use in the description if you want to check it out. If you're serious about building living soil, you're in the right place, so consider subscribing because we're about to uncover what your worms have been trying to tell you. The surface is where your soil ecosystem actually begins. One of the biggest misconceptions in gardening is believing that healthy soil starts 6 inches below the surface. In reality, the most active biological zone is often the first 1 to 3 inches. This is where fresh organic matter lands, fungi begin colonizing, bacteria multiply rapidly, and earthworms come to feed. Whenever I pull back a layer of leaf mulch after a light rain, I often find dozens of worms concentrated within the top inch. Many gardeners panic and assume the worms are escaping something dangerous. Usually, the opposite is true. They're gathering where the freshest food and oxygen are available. That changes, however, when the surface becomes compacted, dry, or completely exposed to the sun. Then the worms disappear, and soil biology slows down dramatically. Moisture matters more than most fertilizer programs. Healthy worms don't simply chase water. They chase stable moisture. In raised beds, I aim to keep the upper 2 inches consistently damp without becoming saturated. That usually means maintaining moisture around the range suitable for active microbial life instead of allowing repeated cycles of soaking and drying. A thick mulch layer of about 2 to 4 inches made from leaves, shredded grass, or finished compost dramatically reduces evaporation. The result isn't just happier worms. The fungi that help plants absorb phosphorus and trace minerals also remain active much longer. Many gardeners spend money on fertilizers while allowing the surface biology to dry out every afternoon. That's backwards. Fresh organic matter attracts more than worms. Here's something I learned after years of experimenting. Whenever I add a thin layer of chopped leaves or partially finished compost to the surface, worm activity increases within days. Soon after, fungal threads begin spreading through the mulch, followed by beneficial insects and countless microorganisms. The worms aren't simply eating leaves. They're feeding on the microbes that colonize those leaves. That distinction changes how you manage your entire garden. If you bury every bit of organic matter deeply into the soil, you reduce the rich feeding zone that naturally develops near the surface. Leaving organic material where nature expects it often produces healthier soil with much less effort. Sometimes worms gathering at the surface are warning you. Not every surface gathering is good news. If worms appear on the surface during hot afternoons, after heavy watering, or remain exposed for extended periods, they're often responding to stress. Waterlogged soil pushes oxygen out of the root zone. Severely compacted soil prevents normal movement. Extremely dry soil below the mulch can force worms upward in search of better conditions. That's why I never judge worm activity by sight alone. I always check moisture and temperature before deciding whether anything actually needs fixing. A simple measurement prevents unnecessary watering, overcorrection, and damaged soil biology. Small changes create surprisingly large improvements. One raised bed taught me this lesson perfectly. 2 identical tomato beds received the same compost, irrigation, and fertilizer. The only difference was that one bed received a 3-inch layer of shredded leaves mixed with grass clippings while the other remained mostly bare. Within 6 weeks, the mulched bed contained noticeably more worm castings beneath the surface. The soil stayed loose after irrigation, watering frequency dropped, and the tomatoes maintained stronger growth through several hot weeks. Nothing magical happened. The top layer simply remained alive. Your worms are responding to biology, not luck. Earthworms don't randomly choose where to gather. They're following food, moisture, oxygen, and microbial activity. When you consistently see worms beneath healthy mulch, that's often one of the best indicators that your soil ecosystem is functioning exactly as it should. Instead of disturbing that layer every week with unnecessary digging, protect it. Feed it gradually. Let fungi connect fresh organic matter to the soil below, and allow worms to do the mixing for you. Nature has refined this system for millions of years. Our job is usually to stop interrupting it. The next time you lift your mulch and discover worms gathered near the surface, don't rush to move them or assume something is wrong. Pay attention to what they're showing you. Healthy gardens are built from the top down, not the bottom up. If you found this helpful, subscribe to Farm Logic and share this video with another gardener who wants healthier soil, stronger plants, and better harvests by understanding how soil biology actually works. The smallest clues often lead to the biggest improvements.